today. The topic of our today's class is how to catalyze money to flow into your business with ease. This is a very important topic. You can see why, because money is this thing that everybody's fixating on. So today we're going to actually clean up whatever the misconceptions are so you can truly step into the power of money attraction. So the topic of today is how to catalyze money to flow into your business with ease. So the reason this is so important is because even though you know your magic and you're awesome at what you do, you already have your paying clients, and you're probably bringing in something like 5,000 some months, maybe 10,000 some months, maybe over 10,000 some other months, but it's not consistent. And it feels like you're chasing money. It feels like you're trying hard to make something happen, and it doesn't quite create the experience that you're looking to create. So because I know that so many of you, you're like amazing spiritual coaches. I see so much of what's out there that is produced by you guys, and it's really, really good. And I can see the amazing results that your clients are having. So obviously, you know what you're doing. You're an expert at your own specialty. But it's you're doing too many things. A lot of times that's kind of part of the stress that we have in business, is just doing too much. It's working too hard, doing way too many things in attempt to get the money. And it feels like there are difficulties with this flow because of the pressure that we're experiencing, even though usually you're actually creating the flow. So the clients are coming, the money are entering into your world, but there is an issue with that flow. It doesn't feel easy. So you might have all sorts of energetic blocks that are there stopping you from allowing that flow to come full force. And because of that, it feels like you need the money. And this is one of the things a lot of the coaches fall into, is that we fixate on the need of money, when in reality, money is more of a side effect of us showing up correctly and having a specific experience. So I invite you to start thinking of it from a slightly different perspective. Instead of thinking of, I need to generate money or I need to attract money, start looking at it from a different type of experience that you want to be having that includes the money. So for the ones of you who don't know me, I'm Eugenia Oganova. I am Wealth Energetics Business and Marketing Coach. So I do a lot of business strategies, but I infuse them with spirituality and with powerful energetics to help you avoid years of forcing yourself into ineffective strategies that actually kind of hurt you and feel like pressure, and instead do what works for you because it's based on your unique way. So sort of like cleaning up whatever's in the way for you to show up fully as yourself. So if you're watching me live here, say hi. Would love to know that you're there. And if you're watching this on a replay, hashtag replay, so I know you've been here. So the topic of today is how to catalyze money flow into your business with ease so that it doesn't feel hard. And even though many of you know what you're doing and you are bringing money in, sometimes it's 3,000, sometimes it's 5,000, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's even more per month. This is great, but it doesn't feel consistent. And I know that so many of you are just working way too hard, doing too many things. So that's the energetic blocks that we're looking at today. And it feels frustrating when it comes to the flow that doesn't quite feel right with your money. Like by the time you're done paying all your like virtual assistant and your social media manager and your graphics person and whatever else, whoever else is on your team, it feels like there's not much left, even though you seem to have brought a lot. Like maybe you had an amazing lunch, maybe you had 5-figure lunch, 6-figure lunch, and then somehow it's gone. So Put 1 in the comments if that's your experience, that the money kind of comes in and then comes right out of your life. That's a very common, unfortunately, experience. It actually has a term for it energetically. It's called a leaky bucket. When a flow comes in, but it also comes right out and nothing ends up staying within your container. So that's unfortunately one of the energy block sort of consequences that happens in your business. Another one is feeling scared that sometimes nothing comes at all. So that means your emotional energy goes up and down with how much money you're making. That energetically is affecting your business strategy. So I'm not a typical coach. I do business strategy, marketing strategy, and all of that emotional and energetic piece, because in my world, the way that I see reality, those two things are absolutely interwoven. And when we forget that there are, we overfixate on the materialistic part of I have to get the money. And then we actually sabotage the flow of money because it feels like when you have the money, then you emotionally go up and everything feels great, right? And then when something flows differently, like let's say you have less money, maybe nobody signed up for whatever you offered, or maybe less people sign up, or maybe you just didn't have clients come in. That's called energetically a drought. Like you actually don't have something that come in at all in that time. But most of the time it's kind of trickling in, sometimes more, sometimes less. When that happens and your emotions go up and down with it, that's part of the problem as to how you might be sabotaging the ease in the flow of money in your business. It seems sort of like logical, like, well, of course I will be happy if more money is coming, and I'm, of course, not so happy if less is coming. But actually, that's a form of self-sabotage that does not allow more to come, because your emotions are over-focusing on your value, your worth linked to the money. So that feels like you're chasing money. It feels like you almost like have to prove yourself by how much money you might be generating in whatever months. Like if you're tracking it monthly, and let's say you want to get this consistent 10K months, and you're noticing like, oh, I'm a little under, like, oh, I'm over, so everything is great, I'm awesome, I feel so confident, and then again you're under and suddenly you feel bad. So put a 2 in the comments if that's your experience. That's a very common internal sort of experience that entrepreneurs, especially spiritual coaches, have, because when we attach our self-worth to money, we end up going up and down with the money flow. But because our emotional self-worth is actually way deeper component than money ever will be, it sabotages the money flow. So it essentially says that in order for you to be good enough, you have to make a certain amount of money. And you can see how twisted that gets, because you actually have to internally be good enough in order to even have the money. So we have to put it on its head in order to create the experience that we want. But we forget. So if you're having that experience of chasing money, if you're feeling like you're trying to prove something by generating more income, that's something to watch out for, because that would be one of the energetic blocks that is in a way of creating ease in the money flow into your business. Okay? And the reason this is happening is because you're pre-limiting how much you can attract or hold within your business. Because your business is really kind of you. So your own system determines what you can attract and what you can hold subconsciously. Universe does not speak English. So whatever it is you mentally decided and told it, it's not what it's going to listen to. That's another huge and most prevalent misconception. Is like, if you just name it and you do it right, that's it. It's going to work out. Actually, that's not how it works. So universe speaks frequency. So when you want to pull out of the quantum field something into your business, especially money, that means that frequency-wise, you have to hold that vibration. You have to allow your container to be available to receive the thing that you're wanting to attract. Okay? So put a 3 in the comments if this is your experience, that you're noticing that you're over-focusing on something that you're trying to prove yourself through with money. This is what then essentially holds you back from allowing you to dream, to really have this freedom of imagining what you even want to have the money for. This is a thing that I see so often. It's one of the very prevalent energetic blocks that coaches have for money, is that they forget to attach the number to something in their reality, something that makes sense to them. So when you're just starting your business, a lot of the money issues might be literally money issues, like you need to pay your bills or you need to pay your rent or whatever it is. But when you're past that level and your business is actually bringing in the money, that means you're not desperate anymore. You're not just looking to pay the bills. So let's say the foundational pieces are taken care of. And let's say you're expanding your wealth capacity to the next level. Well, what's the next level? Like, let's say maybe it's a consistent 10K months. Maybe it's 20K months. Maybe it's 30K months. Maybe you're already at 50K months. Anytime you expand, that quantum leap means you have to actually internally make it applicable. And application is the key for creation in this material world. So whatever you're imagining, if you're not allowing yourself to dream, you're going to end up sabotaging what you can attract. For example, a lot of times when I start working with someone and we start looking as to like, okay, you want to generate consistent 10K months. Great. Now, what's the money for? And there is this, well, I need to like make sure that I can, manage my like VA and whatever is my team and just, pay my rent and just like have a life. Okay, great. Then what? Why do you want to expand your business? What would be this money applied to? And this is where all the freakouts happen. This is something that you have to be really honest with yourself. Like if you look inside and you imagine what would happen if I actually generated, let's say, double whatever your normal is. Like if you're normally somewhere at 8, well, what if it was 16 per month, every single month? If your normal is 10, maybe it's 20 or more. What would happen if that was your reality? What would you do with the money? Maybe you'll buy an apartment or a house. Maybe you will invest in something that's important to you. Great. Maybe you would donate to charity of your choice that you deeply care about. Great. Maybe you will help your children or whatever it is that your idea is. Great. When all of that is done, then what? What if the money is still coming in? What if there is a universal abundance that just keeps flowing to you? What would happen then? What would that money be for? And this is where the stuff comes in. This is where our blocks live, in that imagined territory. Because this is where it starts to be like, well, I don't really need to fly first class. Well, I don't really need another pair of shoes. Well, I don't. And this is how we sabotage it. Because as soon as we attach money to the need, you only get what you need. So if you want to quantum leap into multiple 6 figures and 7 figures and beyond, and have that done with ease and have that flow of momentum, that's luxury actually. That's not a need anymore. Which means that energetically and internally in your emotions, you have to be okay with luxury. You have to be okay with the different type of an experience. So put a 4 in the comments if this is something that you're noticing about yourself, that you're attaching what you think you need, and then after that it's almost like a blank. Like, well, I would like more money because a bigger number would, what? Prove your worth. That's where it always links back to. So if this is something that you feel, put a 4 in the comments, because that's a pretty common thing, that somehow when you generate the income and there's a certain number, now you're worthy. And if you didn't, then you're not worthy. So that's a very common energy block, actually, that we might not even think about, but it is an energy block. It's what's blocking the consistent flow of premium clients, of premium opportunities, of money, essentially, into your business. Another thing might be a fear of exposure. That's another thing that's very prevalent, especially for women coaches, that when you start to generate more income, you're more visible. You're not able to just kind of play it small. You now show up in a very different way, and your clients know, and people around you know, and your marketing changes. And that might also trigger some of the internal fears. So be honest with yourself if that is something that is an energy block you need to look at. Safety is a very common thing. A lot of times people think like, well, if I get money, I will be safe. When actually, safety is more of an internal emotional issue that has absolutely nothing to do with money, because there is a respect of money. There is something that we need to step into that allows us to hold money in a high regard without attaching our worth to it. That's the really key component of this. And it's such a common misconception that if you want money to come, you have to keep focusing on the numbers. Like the more you focus on the numbers, the better it's gonna get. The more somehow you're gonna reach your goal. Like, have you been told that you just have to like fixate on your goals, set your goals, and then go after them no matter what? Well, that's actually not what's gonna help you reach the money goal. When you overly fixate on it, you create a pressure, and that pressure acts as an interference pattern energetically. It pushes you back instead of forward. Like this misconception that if you just keep focusing on money, it will come in. So put a 5 in the comments if that's your experience. If you've been told that you just have to set your goal and just go for that, and that's what's going to bring the money. From 20 years of experience as a transcension mentor and a spiritual therapist and a business coach, I can tell you that that is not how it works. That is definitely not how it works. In fact, it's actually the opposite of that. It's opposite of focusing on your goals in that pressurized way that's gonna help you pull in the money with ease. So what you really need is to clean up those energetic blocks that are in the way that we just looked at. Those are the blocks that stand between you and a multi-six-figure business. Those are the blocks that we don't usually think about because we overly fixate on the goals and on the strategy and on doing all the right things. And even though strategy is absolutely important, like I'm not one of those coaches that's going to tell you just meditate and it all happens. No, you got to do the work in the material plane. So there's definitely strategy, but it has to be correct strategy internally as well. It has to be that you're looking at the situation from the correct perspective. And when we over-focus on the goal and we attach our self-worth to it, all that does, it actually sabotages our success with money attraction. So another thing is that what you need is to clean up the meanings that you give to money. So cleaning them up allows you to expand your capacity to attract and hold more wealth. Whatever you make money mean will either expand or limit your capacity to attract more money. So working with money from this angle, it's the best thing because it bypasses the whole goal setting and constantly fixating on the goals and actually gets you to feeling good doing your business the way that feels good for you. So then the money also becomes part of the experience that feels good. So if you want support doing that, I invite you to my 5-day event. It's a conscious wealth activation. So link to sign up is in the description of this video somewhere. This is actually where I'm going to be going in depth about details of all the things that I have said today and other components of your business strategy that are all linked to attracting this next level client and income for you. So it's 5 days to learn how to attract and hold premium clients with ease and release the energetic blocks that are standing between you now and a multi-six-figure business that you desire. What you need to catalyze that money flow into your business and so it feels easy, so there is this natural experience of ease, is to expand your wealth container. So in my event, I will be talking about uncovering your unique way of doing it, your soul design, so that you can step into that natural flow of attraction, of more wealth for you. Whatever that means for you, because it's actually different for everybody, and you need to know your own way. That's what creates the ease. We will also look at the wealth energetics of positioning and branding. See, what you need is to learn how to show up in a way that you stand out in your industry. So I will share with you the system that I use to create that multi-six-figure business and the standing out based on a soul expertise. So then you can apply that onto your business and benefit as well. And we will also look at the high quality clients energetics. Everybody always talks about like, oh, I want a best client, I want a soulmate client. But most of the time I've noticed that that is energetically actually unclear, and we end up miscreating instead of creating what we want. So this is one of the components that if you want that ease and flow, what you need is to learn to confidently and very effectively speak the message that activates a consistent flow of premium clients. And that I will also cover in my event. Another thing that you need is obviously the wealth energetics, the wealth of money itself. Like the money is a component of wealth. So clearing those limitations that we named today and some other ones that I will go into to help you create this position in the world and in your own business realm that allows you to get paid consistently. So you're actually generating what you desire to generate. So we will also look at that. And that is one of the components that you really need for that consistent flow of money with ease. And another thing is that if you understand how to sell in a correct way that brings in the money flow with ease, you then are able to sell your premium offers with ease. And I will also cover that in my event. So the link is in the description of this video. I would love to see you there and help you look further into your own internal scenario of what might be in a way of you pulling in the money with ease, based on your higher offers and your higher premium level clients and the experience that's also elevated, the higher frequency experience when you are truly enjoying whatever it is that you want to create. So if you show up in my event, you will go through those steps with me. I would literally guide you through components of my system that I normally share with my paid clients, but here I'm giving you the very important gist sort of pieces that are the key components so that you can activate that within yourself and create that experience in your business. Because the more women actually generate income that is a higher level income, like past six figures into multiple six figures, the better this world is going to be. And this is what we want to create. So this is not just for us individually, it's for in general for the womankind in this world, not just mankind, but the womankind, to finally rise up from that level of internal scarcity and kind of being behind the scenes into being someone who can hold the wealth. And then you show up in your life whichever way you choose to, in whatever role you want to be, but there is a component of that inner leadership that happens when you are supported by wealth. So my Conscious Wealth Activation event is coming up soon, and the link is in the description, and I would love to see you there. So thank you so much for being here with me. I will look through your comments, and if you have any questions, ask, and hopefully I will see you in the event soon. My love to you.